So listen, something is obviously wrong with Republican Senator Mitch McConnell. I say that casually. I'm not making a diagnosis. I'm not a doctor. It's very clear that these freezing incidents that he has experienced and moments of confusion, and now he fell, and there's something wrong with Mitch McConnell. He's not a spring chicken. Mitch McConnell likely should have retired a while ago. But it's not like Trump is perfect up in the head, as we've talked about either. He seemed disorientedly referring to TikTok as Tic Tac. And we've been following Trump's confusion and memory issues for a very long time. So Trump all of a sudden goes after Mitch McConnell on the cognitive decline and physiological state circumstances. And while on the one hand, Trump's not wrong, it's sort of like the elephant in the room is that Trump seems to be struggling with the exact same thing. Listen to this.
As the next health secretary, citing conspiracy theories, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I feel sorry for Mitch. And I was one of the people that he wanted to go to the end and he wanted to stay leader. He's not equipped mentally. He wasn't equipped 10 years ago mentally, in my opinion. He'd let the Republican Party go to hell. If I didn't come along, the Republican Party wouldn't even exist right now. Mitch McConnell never.
By the way, the Republican Party kind of doesn't exist right now. It's this perversion of the Republican Party called MAGA Trumpism, I think could be argued.
Really had it. He had an ability to raise money because of his position as leader, which anybody could do. You could do it even, and that's saying a lot. But the fact is that he raised money and he gave a lot of money to senators, and so he had a little loyalty based on the fact that as leader you could raise a lot of money. Senators would call me and they say, he wants to give me 25 million. Can I take it? I'd say, take the money. Take the money. But he engendered a certain amount of, I don't even call it loyalty. He was able
So as you can tell, Trump is just ranting incoherently. And in fact, it was so incoherent that Fox News decided to cut away from this entire fiasco.
Had it. He had an ability to raise money because of his position as leader, which anybody could do. You could do it even, and that's saying a lot. But the fact is that he raised money and he gave a lot of money to senators, and so he had a little loyalty based on the fact that as leader you could raise a lot of money. Senators would call me and they say, he wants to give me 25 million. Can I take it? I'd say, take the money. Take the money. But he engendered a certain amount of, I don't even call it loyalty. He was able to get votes. But I was the one.
All right, a lot there. The External Revenue Service.
A lot there, yeah. And by the way, it is not lost on me that any opportunity to shame or mock or insult, telling Caitlin Collins there, even Caitlin Collins would be able to raise money if she were in Mitch McConnell's position. Finally, and maybe most bizarrely on this issue of Mitch McConnell, Trump seems to sort of play coy with whether he even accepts that Mitch McConnell had polio. He doesn't say, I don't believe it, but he goes, I don't know. I don't know if he really had polio.
He had polio, obviously, and
I don't know anything about he had polio. He had polio.
Are you doubting that he had polio?
I have no idea if he had polio. All I can tell you about him is that he shouldn't have been leader. He knows that. He voted against Bobby. He votes against almost everything now. He's a very bitter guy. And we have a very strong party. And he's almost not even really a very powerful member. I'd say he's not he's lost his power.
All right. So anyway, I don't know I have no idea whether he had polio. And this is the way that Trump always plays coy with this stuff. He won't accept anything if it's someone who is on his shit list. Mitch McConnell breathes oxygen just like you. Does he? I don't know. Whatever. He can breathe whatever he wants. Do you doubt that Mitch McConnell breathes oxygen? I have no idea whether he breathes oxygen. I just am not sure. This is the Trump game. And sometimes it plays better with his base and sometimes it plays worse. But what a situation. What a disgusting display here. And with regard to the cognitive decline stuff, really an example of the pot calling the kettle black. And of course, no one in that room mentions it to Trump. And of course, why would they? They would never be allowed back in that room again. That's for sure. Okay, updates on the book. Signed copies of my forthcoming book, The Echo Machine, are available at davidpakman.com/booksmith. We were originally going to basically handle these ourselves. We would order the books, I would sign them, we would handle the shipping. Once 500 people said, I would like one of the signed books, it became clear we couldn't do it. So my publisher, which is based in Boston, Beacon Press, great independent publisher, has partnered up with a Boston area bookstore, Brookline Booksmith. They will be handling signed books. I'm going to go up there in a couple weeks before the release of the book, sign my life away. I don't know how many of these I'm going to have to sign. If you would like a signed book, you can only get it at davidpakman.com/booksmith. Every book ordered through that link will be signed, and it will be delivered to you right around the release date of March 25th, maybe a few days later. That's the plan. Email in if you have any questions. We will take a break, and much more coming up today. Once again, Donald Trump's cabinet picks are all about loyalty over expertise. Election denier Kari Lake to lead Voice of America, the government-funded broadcaster meant to report unbiased news. Ground News found hundreds of articles covering this story, which is an app I've trusted for years to help me critically analyze the news I consume. Our sponsor, Ground News, doesn't tell you what to think. They show you each news outlet's biases, credibility, financial incentives, so you know who's benefiting from the spin they put on each story. You can even filter out certain sources you don't want, so you can stay informed without getting buried in the noise. Trump is shaping our future in ways that will last decades. And if we're not paying attention, we will allow history to repeat itself. So stay engaged with Ground News, who is fixing what is breaking right in front of us, the trust and transparency in the media. Ground News is giving my audience 50% off the same Vantage plan that I use. Go to ground.news/Pakman. The link is in the description, or scan my QR code.